In verse 1, he's calling us to offer our lives as a living sacrifice. And he tells us that sacrifice ought to be holy and alive. But then in verse 2, he tells us how we can prepare that sacrifice, how we can grow in transforming grace, that we might be acceptable to God, that we might be pleasing to God. And then, after becoming conformed to the image of Christ, dealing with that matter, he goes on, how do we serve Him? And if you notice, he begins to talk about the church. We serve Him in the context of the people of God. Now, most of you know how strongly I feel about family and how we ought to do what the Bible commands with regard to the family. But I want to preach against, just for a moment, this idea that you've done everything you should do as a Christian just because you homeschool and do a good job in your family, because that's not true. You are called to do a good job in your family. You're called to obey every command God gives you with regard to the family, but your ministry does not stop there. If it does, there's something truncated, something wrong. Because he goes immediately now to your service among the people of God, identifying your spiritual gift, growing in your spiritual gift, and ministering according to that spiritual gift within the body of Christ. And he's not talking about some invisible universal body without a name. He's talking about a local congregation, a local church, where the rubber hits the road with regard to your service, and you're demonstrating that you really are doing something. It's so easy to love the big picture. It's so difficult to serve individuals, you see.